How you doing? Welcome back to the Philippines. We have an interesting update on our man Danny Boy. Danny has been separated from his phone somehow, and the problems are mounting quickly. It is unclear what Danny's solution is going to be or how he's going to work this out. I have been texting Danny a little bit, and I'm going to talk about a couple scenarios and things that you need to be aware of when coming to the Philippines. First off, we're going to start with a story. It was day one. I was in China, and China doesn't use Visa cards and different things like that. So when I arrived in China for a long layover, the airline had accommodations already set up and told me to go upstairs to a specific ATM, withdraw a certain amount of money, and then take this shuttle to the hotel. But the shuttle's leaving soon, so hurry up. So I take my PayPal card up to the ATM upstairs, kind of jogging along because, of course, there's a group of us on this layover, and I leave my ATM card in the machine. Day one, 9 hours, and I was able to get on the phone with PayPal in communist China and get the matter resolved in about 10 minutes. Later on, about 8 to 10 days later, I was able to get my card sent to me to the Philippines at the hotel I was staying at. Not convenient, but I was lucky to recover. Danny's situation is very interesting also. Something many foreigners that come to Southeast Asia make a very rookie mistake. And I told Danny before we traveled to bring a backup phone. Bear with me 1 second. So when you come to Asia, you're going to have your phone from home, and you're going to have a backup phone. And because in most cases your phone is not going to work from home, there is no reason to carry it around, especially when here in the daytime, 1:26 p.m., it is 1:26 a.m. in the United States. So again, no reason to carry it around. So, you should never lose your phone. So I told Danny to buy a backup phone, because when you arrive in the airport, at most any place that you go in the world, they're going to be able to put their SIM in your phone, and this is the phone you're going to carry around. The phone that you buy local service. That way, when you are so tired and maybe leave your phone in the cab or whatever, this phone, the backup phone, will be lost, and you'll only be out a couple $100. I told Danny to buy a older iPhone because I feel like the functionality is good. And if he would have listened to me, instead of bolting out the door shortly after arriving, he probably would have saved himself thousands of dollars and maybe even a ride home. That's right. It is unclear what the extent of Danny's problems are, That brings me to the next situation, and that would be F2A security. F2A is very popular. Your email, a lot is really tied to your phone. And it really takes hackers a lot to gain access to your account, of course, if you have F2A set up. There are several things to make sure you have set up. One is the recovery codes of F2A in a very separate situation, maybe even to the point where none of this is on your phone. In Yahoo account, just something very separate where that the password to, and if you get separated from everything, you're able to gain access to that account to start the recovery process. But being in the tech business, many people do not go that far and unaware of when you lose your phone, you could lose access to your accounts. Now, this happens to millions of people, and in most cases it can be unwound. Just like Danny discovered, he was lucky to get his banking account back. From my experience, even my personal experience, because as the timeline goes out long enough, something is going to happen. And that's why when you go to these places, even if your intentions is to move or to stay long term, you indeed are going to deal with problems. Maybe you get separated from your stuff, maybe you get separated from your phone, maybe you get separated from your passport. And the big deal here is to realize that you're not on Mars. And this does happen to many, 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 many foreigners. Maybe even all the foreigners, right? It maybe just depend on the degree of issues that you face versus a problem that's unpassable. And like I said, in Danny's case, we have kind of chatted back and forth. Again, he is not listening with his ears, instead just in panic stage. Because I have dealt with this in Mexico. I had everything I own stolen. Multiple surfboards, GoPros, passports, debit cards, the whole 9 yards stolen in my van on the beach while I was surfing. It was so brutal. I had to hitchhike home with my surfboard in my wetsuit, even getting a free ride from a taxi driver, a route taxi, and a hitchhike from a person. And I had to actually, my landlord in Mexico was so nice. He gave me $100 so I could go over the border. I even walked up to the counter to cross and told him everything was stolen. And the cop almost was, just like, he goes, "So what's your address?" And of course, I just had my mailing address, and he goes, "All right. No ID, no nothing, just a single exchange," and off I was to go on a shuttle up to Las Vegas at 3 a.m. to wait till my mailbox opened to start recovering my ID, my debit cards, and my passport. I was not able to recover my passport card, but there are indeed these situations going on all the time. The major key is that in most cases you're not reaching the right person or the right information to recover your details is what it boils down to, and what I've learned. I mean, because again, I've dealt with many of these types of situations, and it's important. Many of these tips and things can frankly save your life. In this situation, of course, the amount is unclear in Danny's situation of how much the losses really are. Will he have to go back to the United States? If I had to go back to the United States, I mean, have a place to go home to. I might be able to crash on a friend's couch while I get the matter resolved. And of course, the cost, depending on what the losses are or what the exact situation is, it could make for a very challenging situation. Danny also didn't listen to me by getting fresh debit cards. So he only brought one debit card, and of course his access to his PayPal account is blocked. So he is basically on the end of a rope hanging. That includes blocked of his Airbnb account, blocked of his crypto accounts, blocked of just about everything. I think they got him hanging by a thread pretty good. Danny still feels like the updates that I'm getting from him that he is going to be able to hold on and stay. He's also mentioned that he does not have the money to fly home, as he is retired, so he gets one check a month, and so it could be very challenging. I mean, when you're dealing with this halfway around the world, it is very challenging. But again, I highly contend, and again, from my personal experience, there are departments in most of these companies, banks, institutions, credit cards, that deal with this situation and that help foreigners with these situations all the time, right? Because, they happen a lot. And that is indeed something to keep in mind when dealing with this. It's important not to make, snap decisions, to think about what assets you have in these situations, and to work them until you're able to unravel all the problems. One of the things that I did was I started making a list of all the things that I was blocked from, ordering cards, going online, and that's really one of the more better pieces of advice that I would give somebody dealing with this type of thing. Is deal with it via email, deal with it online, deal with it with chat support. Trying to call into these, like say my bank or PayPal or Airbnb, you're being routed to customer service, maybe even next door in Danny's case, right? Because Airbnb, if you watch some of my earlier videos, the support I received was with some lady with a chicken in the background, or a rooster rather, and so they don't have any authority to help you in these types of situations, because they're doing business with you, right? I mean, in Airbnb's case, I'm pulling from one of the examples in Danny's mounting problems from losing his phone, and really, it just again would have been almost a non-issue because people don't think things through. You don't need your phone from your home. As a matter of fact, if anything, the phone that you're going to use for local service, you can install the apps like WhatsApp and different things and confirm them on your phone so they can be used on the phone that you're going to have local service on, including SMS stuff, all the above. iMessage, if you use iPhone, can be used on multiple devices. and so it's much easier to recover from these situations. I will likely deal with something like this. I hope I don't. It is always important to build in many backup positions, just like you're in battle. You often have to minimize damage and to take and be able to still operate, even if it is in just a limited capacity till you're able to recover. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It is May the 3rd, about 1:39 in the afternoon. Very interesting things going on in the world. And thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.